The Book of Metaphysics for Daily Life 2.0. Introduction. Life unfolds in layers. What we see with our eyes, touch with our hands, and measure with instruments is only the surface of a vast and intricate tapestry. Beneath the events that fill our days, beneath the conversations, the work, the successes, and the disappointments, lies an unseen architecture that quietly shapes our experiences. This architecture is metaphysical. It is the realm of thought, vibration, frequency, and consciousness. While many treat it as abstract philosophy or mystical speculation, it is in truth a living force that influences every moment of our existence. To ignore it is to walk through life with only half our vision open. To understand and work with it is to step into the role of conscious creator. Metaphysics is often described as beyond the physical, but that does not make it distant or irrelevant. On the contrary, it is closer than breath, more immediate than language. Every thought you hold, every belief you carry, every emotion you feel, radiates an energetic signature that interacts with the wider field of existence. You do not simply inhabit reality, you participate in its continual unfolding. This book is not a manual of abstract theories. It is a guide to applying metaphysical principles in practical, tangible ways so that daily life becomes a canvas upon which you intentionally paint. For centuries, mystics, philosophers, and spiritual seekers have spoken of universal laws. These laws are not rules imposed from outside. They are fundamental patterns that govern existence, just as gravity governs motion. The law of vibration, for example, teaches that everything in the universe is in constant motion, resonating at particular frequencies. The law of correspondence reflects the principle that inner and outer worlds mirror each other. The law of cause and effect reminds us that every thought and action has consequences, often in ways more subtle than we first recognize. These principles are operating at all times, whether we acknowledge them or not. When we learn to understand and align with them, we stop struggling against the current of life and begin to move with it. Daily life is the perfect training ground for metaphysical practice. It is easy to speak of energy and consciousness in a quiet room or during a moment of meditation. The real power emerges when these understandings are applied in the middle of ordinary events. It is in the way we respond to an unexpected challenge at work, in how we hold ourselves during moments of conflict, in how we treat our finances, our health, our relationships, and our dreams. Metaphysics is not about escaping the world. It is about engaging with it more deeply and wisely. It allows us to approach ordinary circumstances with a sense of expanded possibility rather than automatic limitation. The modern world often encourages a fragmented view of existence. Many live as if their inner thoughts and outer experiences are unrelated. They chase results, trying to control circumstances through sheer effort, unaware that their inner state is the true foundation upon which events take shape. Metaphysical awareness bridges this gap. It reminds us that inner transformation and outer change are inseparable. When we shift our mindset from scarcity to abundance, when we attune our emotions to gratitude and possibility, when we align our thoughts with clarity and intention, reality begins to respond in kind. It may not always happen instantly, but the pattern is reliable, as dependable as any physical law. This book is structured to take you on a journey from understanding to embodiment. The early chapters lay the foundation, exploring the nature of reality and the universal principles that underlie existence. Later chapters show how to apply these principles in daily life, relationships, wealth, health, and personal growth. Finally, the book offers practices, methods, and perspectives to integrate metaphysics into your everyday routine so that conscious creation becomes natural. The goal is not to adopt new beliefs blindly, but to experiment, observe, and discover for yourself the subtle but profound influence of metaphysical laws. The invisible architecture of reality does not demand belief, it invites awareness. Once you begin to perceive its patterns, you can no longer view life as a sequence of random events. Instead, it becomes a meaningful and dynamic interaction between your inner world and the vast universe. You stand not as a passive observer, but as an active participant in shaping your destiny. This is the promise and the power of metaphysics. When brought into daily life, it transforms ordinary existence into an extraordinary journey of conscious creation. Chapter 1. The Nature of Reality Beyond the Physical Veil. Every day we wake up, move through familiar routines, interact with people, solve problems, and make decisions. We navigate a world that seems solid, predictable, and measurable. Buildings stand firm, cars move down streets, conversations unfold, and time appears to move forward in a steady line. For most, reality is defined by what the senses can detect and what can be recorded or quantified. Yet beneath this apparent solidity, there is another layer of existence that shapes everything we experience. This layer is subtle, but not unreal. It is the metaphysical dimension, the unseen fabric that gives rise to the physical world. To understand life at a deeper level, we must look beyond appearances and question the nature of reality itself. The physical world is like the surface of an ocean. Waves rise and fall, currents shift, patterns form and dissolve. If we focus only on the surface, we might assume that the waves are separate, isolated phenomena, but below the surface, the water is continuous, interconnected, and in constant motion. The visible events of life are like those waves, but their causes and connections are found in the depths. Energy, consciousness, vibration, and intention move beneath appearances, shaping what eventually emerges in the tangible world. Many traditions, from ancient spiritual teachings to modern quantum theories, point toward the same understanding. What is visible is only a fraction of what is real. Thought is one of the most powerful metaphysical forces in existence. It is invisible, yet it shapes the course of human history and individual lives alike. Every invention, every cultural movement, every personal achievement begins as a thought. Thoughts generate emotional responses, which create vibrations that ripple through the energetic field of existence. Over time, these vibrations influence events, attract opportunities, or create obstacles. We often imagine our thoughts as private and inconsequential, but they are part of the creative fabric of reality. Whether we are aware of it or not, our inner world is constantly interacting with the outer world. Reality is not static, it is fluid and participatory. Our perceptions, beliefs, and expectations act as filters through which the vast field of possibilities is narrowed into the specific experiences we call our lives. Two people can stand side by side, encounter the same external circumstance, and have entirely different experiences because their inner worlds are different. One may see opportunity, the other may see threat. One may respond with openness, the other with fear. This difference does not arise from the external event alone, but from the consciousness through which it is interpreted. In this sense, reality is co-created. The universe provides infinite potential, but human awareness determines how that potential is shaped and experienced. It is common to think of the physical world as separate from the mind, but this division is artificial. The physical and metaphysical are not two separate domains. They are two aspects of the same reality. The metaphysical realm provides the blueprint, while the physical realm provides the expression. Just as a seed contains the pattern of the tree it will become, your thoughts and beliefs contain the pattern of your future experiences. When you plant a seed in soil, you trust that it will grow into the plant it is designed to become. Similarly, when you hold thoughts with clarity and intention, they begin to influence reality in subtle and eventually visible ways. Many resist this perspective because it challenges the assumption that reality is entirely objective and independent. It can be unsettling to realize that consciousness plays a central role in shaping experience. Yet this realization is also liberating. It means that you are not merely a passenger on a predetermined path. You are a participant in the unfolding of reality. Your choices, inner state, and level of awareness matter. You can observe how patterns in your thinking mirror patterns in your circumstances. You can see how recurring beliefs manifest as recurring events. And once you see this connection, you can begin to change it. Looking beyond the physical veil does not mean rejecting the material world. It means understanding that the material world is only one layer of a more expansive reality. When you recognize the metaphysical dimension, daily life takes on a new depth. Coincidences begin to feel meaningful. Intuition becomes a reliable guide. Obstacles that once seemed fixed become opportunities for inner transformation. The world becomes less random and more responsive. You start to sense that there is an underlying intelligence at work, a field of consciousness that connects everything. This field is not separate from you. You are part of it. To approach reality in this way requires a shift in perception. Instead of viewing the world as something happening to you, you begin to see it as something happening through you and with you. You learn to pay attention not only to external events, but also to the inner signals that precede them. This shift does not happen overnight. It is cultivated through observation, reflection, and practice. Over time, as you align your thoughts, emotions, and intentions with the deeper structure of reality, life begins to unfold with greater coherence. You notice synchronicities, attract opportunities that match your inner state, and respond to challenges with a sense of clarity rather than confusion. The nature of reality is far more expansive than most have been taught to believe. Beneath the surface of physical events lies a dynamic interplay of energy and consciousness. When you begin to work with this deeper layer, rather than ignoring it, you step into a more empowered relationship with life. You become less reactive and more creative. You stop seeing yourself as separate from the world and start recognizing your role as a co-creator. This is the foundation of metaphysical living. Understanding that reality is both seen and unseen, and that mastery begins by looking beyond the physical veil. Chapter 2. Universal Laws and Principles that Govern Existence. Every culture throughout history has attempted to explain the forces that shape existence. Some have used myth, some religion, some science, and others pure philosophy. Despite the differences in language and symbolism, many of these explanations point toward a consistent set of underlying principles. These principles are not man-made rules, but universal patterns that govern how reality unfolds. Just as gravity influences all physical objects, regardless of whether someone believes in it, these metaphysical laws operate continuously, shaping experiences and outcomes. They are not distant, abstract theories. They are the living currents beneath every thought, action, and event. To understand and consciously apply them is to bring a new level of clarity and power into daily life. One of the most fundamental principles is the law of vibration. Everything in existence, from the densest physical matter to the subtlest thought, is in a state of motion. Nothing is truly still. Every object, emotion, idea, and living being emits a frequency. The state of your inner world, the thoughts you think, the emotions you dwell in, the beliefs you hold, creates a vibrational field around you. This field interacts with the greater field of the universe, influencing what experiences are drawn into your life. A person who lives in a persistent state of resentment or fear is radiating a very different signal than someone who cultivates gratitude and optimism. Over time, these differing frequencies shape the circumstances each person encounters. By becoming aware of your vibrational state and learning how to raise or refine it, you begin to interact with reality in a more deliberate way. Closely connected to vibration is the law of correspondence, often summarized by the phrase, "as within, so without, as above, so below." This principle reflects the mirroring relationship between different levels of reality. Your external experiences are a reflection of your internal patterns, just as a shadow reflects the shape of the object casting it. If chaos dominates your inner world, it will find expression in your outer circumstance. If clarity and harmony are cultivated within, your environment begins to echo that state. Many people spend their lives trying to rearrange external conditions without ever addressing their internal landscape. When the inner shifts, however, outer change often follows with surprising ease. This is not magical thinking, but a recognition of the deep connection between consciousness and experience. Another essential principle is the law of cause and effect. In the physical realm, it is understood that every action produces a reaction. The same holds true on the metaphysical level. Thoughts, emotions, and intentions are causes that eventually manifest as effects in the world. Sometimes the effects appear immediately, as when a kind gesture elicits an instant smile. Other times they unfold over weeks, months, or years. Either way, nothing happens without a cause, and no cause is without effect. This understanding encourages responsibility. When you recognize that your inner and outer actions are creative forces, you stop seeing yourself as a victim of chance and start acknowledging the role you play in shaping your path. The law of assumption, sometimes expressed as the power of belief, is another key principle. It suggests that the reality you experience is shaped by what you assume to be true. Your assumptions act as silent instructions to the universe, guiding the unfolding of events in ways that often bypass conscious awareness. If you assume that opportunities are scarce, your mind filters out possibilities, and you behave in ways that reinforce that scarcity. If you assume that life supports your growth, you become more receptive to chances, connections, and insights that align with that belief. Assumptions are not mere thoughts, they are deeply held positions that influence perception and behavior. Changing an assumption can alter the trajectory of a life as surely as changing a seed changes the plant that grows from it. The law of rhythm highlights the cyclical nature of existence. Just as day follows night and seasons follow one another, life moves in patterns of ebb and flow. There are times of expansion and times of contraction, moments of activity and periods of rest. Understanding rhythm allows you to navigate life without unnecessary resistance. When challenges arise, it does not always mean something has gone wrong. It may simply be part of the natural cycle. Those who align with rhythm learn to move with the flow rather than against it, conserving energy and maintaining balance even during transitions. Another guiding principle is the law of polarity. Everything contains its opposite, and opposites are two extremes of the same essence. Hot and cold are variations of temperature, light and dark are variations of illumination, abundance and lack are variations of perception. Recognizing polarity allows you to see that challenges contain the seeds of their solutions, and difficulties often carry hidden opportunities. When you understand that extremes are connected, you become more flexible in your thinking. You stop seeing the world in rigid binaries and start perceiving it as a spectrum of possibilities. Finally, the law of gender, often misunderstood, speaks not of biological sex, but of the masculine and feminine principles present in all things. The masculine represents action, focus, and outward movement, while the feminine embodies receptivity, intuition, and inward cultivation. Creation requires the harmony of both. A vision held internally without action remains a dream, while constant action without receptive reflection leads to exhaustion. By honoring both aspects within yourself, you align more fully with the creative flow of the universe. These laws are not commandments to obey, but realities to understand and work with. Whether or not you acknowledge them, they are operating continuously. Becoming aware of them gives you a way to consciously participate in shaping your experience. You begin to notice the subtle interactions between your inner state and the events of your life. You become less reactive, less dependent on external validation, and more attuned to the underlying currents that guide existence. Living in harmony with these universal principles is not about controlling life in a rigid way. It is about cooperating with the deeper patterns that sustain reality. When these laws are applied with awareness, daily life becomes more coherent. Instead of feeling as though you are at the mercy of random forces, you begin to sense that you are moving within an intelligent system. Thoughts and emotions cease to be fleeting, inconsequential events. They become recognized as formative powers. Circumstances no longer appear purely accidental, but reveal their relationship to inner causes. This understanding does not eliminate challenges, but it transforms how you approach them. You start to navigate existence not as a passive observer, but as an active participant in a vast, interconnected field governed by universal principles. Chapter 3: The Conscious Mind, Subconscious Mind, and Higher Self. Human consciousness is layered. Beneath every decision, reaction, and desire lies a complex inner structure that shapes how we interpret and respond to reality. Many people move through life believing their conscious mind is the sole driver of their experiences, unaware of the immense influence exerted by the subconscious and the subtle guidance offered by what can be called the higher self. Understanding these three aspects of mind is essential for metaphysical living, because they form the primary interface between the unseen energetic realm and the tangible world. When these layers work in harmony, life flows with clarity and direction. When they are in conflict, progress can feel like a constant struggle, with intentions scattered and outcomes unpredictable. The conscious mind is the part of awareness most people identify with. It is the voice that narrates experience, analyzes information, makes deliberate choices, and interacts directly with the external world. It is logical, linear, and focused on the present moment. Through the conscious mind, we plan, decide, and direct attention. However, despite its active role, the conscious mind is only a small portion of the total mental landscape. It functions much like the captain of a ship, setting the destination and giving commands, but it relies on deeper forces to carry those commands out. It is powerful in its ability to focus and choose, but limited in its processing capacity compared to the vastness beneath it. The subconscious mind is immense, operating beneath the surface of awareness. It stores memories, emotional imprints, habits, beliefs, and countless patterns that shape perception and behavior. It is like fertile soil, accepting whatever seeds the conscious mind plants, whether those seeds are empowering or destructive. Once accepted, it nurtures them into reality through repeated thought, emotion, and behavior. It does not question, analyze, or argue. It simply receives and expresses. This is why repeated affirmations, strong emotional experiences, and deeply held beliefs have such power to shape lives. They are the raw materials the subconscious uses to influence behavior and attract circumstances that match its programming. The subconscious mind also manages the functions of the body, regulating heartbeat, digestion, immune responses, and countless other processes without conscious effort. This deep intelligence demonstrates that the subconscious is not merely a storehouse of memories, but an active, creative force. Its influence extends far beyond habits and into the energetic field we project into the world. If the subconscious is filled with fear, doubt, or feelings of unworthiness, those frequencies are broadcast continuously, shaping the experiences that return. Conversely, when the subconscious is aligned with trust, confidence, and abundance, reality begins to reflect those states with surprising consistency. The higher self represents a dimension of consciousness that transcends both the conscious and subconscious minds. It is not limited by personal history, ego, or immediate desires. It is a more expansive awareness that perceives life from a broader perspective. Some describe it as intuition, inner wisdom, or the soul. Others understand it as a connection to universal consciousness. Whatever language is used, the higher self is the guiding intelligence that nudges us toward growth, purpose, and alignment with deeper truths. It often communicates through subtle feelings, inner knowing, synchronicities, and moments of sudden clarity, rather than through the logical voice of the conscious mind. Its presence is constant, though often ignored amid the noise of daily thoughts. When these three aspects of mind are aligned, life becomes coherent. The conscious mind sets clear intentions. The subconscious mind supports those intentions through aligned beliefs and emotional patterns. The higher self provides intuitive guidance that points toward paths of fulfillment and growth. However, when they are not aligned, friction arises. A person might consciously desire financial abundance while subconsciously holding beliefs that wealth is wrong or unattainable. all while ignoring intuitive nudges that could lead to new opportunities. The result is stagnation or self-sabotage, not because the desire is unworthy, but because the layers of mind are sending contradictory signals to reality. The process of alignment begins with awareness. The conscious mind must learn to observe the patterns of the subconscious without judgment. This involves noticing recurring thoughts, emotional triggers, and habitual responses. Instead of reacting automatically, you pause and inquire, why do certain fears arise? What beliefs lie beneath repeated challenges? Over time, this inquiry reveals the hidden programming that has been silently shaping your experiences. Once brought to light, these patterns can be reprogrammed through new thoughts, repeated affirmations, visualization, emotional healing, and consistent action. The subconscious responds to repetition and feeling, so sustained focus gradually transforms its content. Connecting with the higher self requires a different approach. It is not about controlling or reprogramming, but about listening and attuning. Quiet reflection, meditation, time in nature, or simply moments of stillness help tune the conscious mind to the subtler frequencies of intuition. Unlike the subconscious, the higher self does not operate through compulsion or habit. It communicates through clarity and a sense of inner rightness. When you follow these inner signals, paths unfold more naturally. Resistance decreases, synchronicities increase, and decisions feel more aligned with your authentic direction. Ignoring the higher self often leads to repeated lessons, as life tries to guide you back toward the path you were meant to walk. The key aspect of metaphysical practice is recognizing that these three layers of mind are not separate entities competing for control. They are different expressions of the same consciousness operating at different levels. The conscious mind focuses on immediate choices. The subconscious integrates and expresses deep patterns, and the higher self offers a view from beyond limited perspectives. When treated as allies rather than fragments, they create a powerful inner structure through which reality is shaped deliberately rather than by default. Many people attempt to change their lives through conscious effort alone, pushing against deeply ingrained subconscious patterns while ignoring intuitive guidance. This often leads to frustration because the surface intentions are not supported by the deeper layers. Lasting transformation requires working on all levels. Conscious intention must be clear and consistent. Subconscious programming must be aligned through deliberate cultivation of new beliefs and emotional states. Intuitive insight must be trusted and integrated. When this alignment occurs, reality begins to mirror the inner coherence. Life feels less like a battle against external forces and more like a dance between inner creation and outer manifestation. Understanding the conscious mind, subconscious mind, and higher self is not merely an intellectual exercise. It is the foundation of metaphysical living. These inner dimensions are the primary channels through which you interact with the unseen forces that shape existence. By learning to work with each layer deliberately, you unlock the ability to influence your reality from the inside out. This is where true power lies, not in attempting to control every external circumstance, but in aligning the inner world so that the outer world naturally reflects it. As you deepen this understanding, you move closer to becoming a conscious creator, harmonizing thought, belief, and intuition to shape a reality that reflects your highest potential. Chapter 4. Vibration, Frequency, and the Power of Alignment. Everything in existence is in motion. From the subatomic level to the largest galactic structures, movement is constant, and this movement generates vibration. What appears solid to the human eye is in reality a dynamic dance of energy vibrating at various frequencies. Metaphysical traditions have long understood that vibration is not only the foundation of physical matter, but also of thought, emotion, and consciousness itself. Modern science echoes this truth through quantum physics, revealing that what we perceive as tangible is, at its core, energy in organized motion. To understand vibration and frequency is to grasp one of the most powerful keys to shaping experience. It is through vibration that inner states communicate with the larger universe. drawing into being events and circumstances that match their energetic signature. Every thought you think carries a frequency. Every emotion you feel radiates a subtle but measurable energy. Together, these vibrations form your personal energetic field, which interacts continuously with the environment. This field is not confined to your physical body, it extends outward, influencing and being influenced by the frequencies of others and by the universal field itself. A person immersed in resentment or fear broadcasts a very different vibration than someone living in gratitude and confidence. Over time, the quality of this vibration acts like a magnet, attracting experiences, people, and conditions that resonate with it. This is not about moral judgment or simplistic reward and punishment. It is about resonance. Similar frequencies align and reinforce each other, creating patterns that unfold in tangible reality. Vibration explains why two people can encounter the same external situation yet experience it so differently. One might see opportunity while another sees only threat. One feels inspired, the other defeated. The difference lies not in the event itself, but in the vibrational state through which it is perceived. The world is a vast field of potential frequencies, and the individual acts like a tuning fork, resonating with some frequencies and not with others. When your vibration is elevated and coherent, you naturally tune into higher patterns of possibility. When it is low or chaotic, you tend to encounter experiences that mirror that state. This is why inner work is not separate from outer change. They are different aspects of the same energetic reality. Frequency is closely related to vibration but carries a distinct emphasis. While vibration refers to movement itself, frequency refers to the rate of that movement. Higher frequencies correspond to states of expanded awareness, love, clarity, and creativity. Lower frequencies correspond to fear, doubt, anger, and contraction. Neither is inherently good or bad, but they produce very different experiences. A person living predominantly at higher frequencies tends to feel more connected, inspired, and guided, while one anchored in lower frequencies may feel stuck, isolated, or reactive. Shifting frequency is not about denying or suppressing difficult emotions. It is about learning how to navigate and raise your energetic state through awareness, intention, and practice. Alignment occurs when your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions vibrate harmoniously. Many people live in a state of internal dissonance. They consciously desire one thing while subconsciously holding beliefs that contradict it, or they act in ways that do not match their emotional state. This creates a scattered vibrational signal, which leads to mixed results. When alignment is achieved, your inner and outer states work together, producing a clear and powerful frequency that resonates with corresponding realities. This is why moments of deep clarity and conviction often lead to swift changes in life circumstances. The energetic signal becomes coherent, and reality responds accordingly. Raising vibration is not achieved through force or superficial positivity. It involves cultivating genuine emotional states and aligning beliefs with desired outcomes. Practices such as gratitude, meditation, deep breathing, spending time in nature, listening to uplifting music, creative expression, and acts of kindness naturally elevate frequency because they bring you into states of presence and harmony. Letting go of resentment, releasing fear, and forgiving both yourself and others also have a profound vibrational effect. These practices clear emotional static, allowing your natural frequency to rise. Over time, this shift in vibration creates noticeable changes in how life unfolds. Opportunities that were once invisible become clear. Relationships evolve, and circumstances seem to arrange themselves with greater ease. It is also important to recognize that vibration is not static. It fluctuates throughout the day based on thoughts, emotional responses, and environmental influences. Becoming aware of these fluctuations allows you to deliberately guide your vibration rather than being unconsciously swept by external conditions. When challenges arise, instead of reacting automatically, you can pause, breathe, and consciously choose a response that elevates rather than lowers your frequency. This does not mean ignoring pain or pretending everything is fine. It means acknowledging the feeling while holding a higher perspective, refusing to let temporary states define your overall vibration. The environment you inhabit also plays a role in shaping frequency. Physical spaces carry their own energetic imprints, influenced by the people, events, and emotions that occur within them. Cluttered or neglected spaces can contribute to a sense of stagnation, while clean, harmonious environments can support clarity and upliftment. Similarly, the people you spend time with affect your vibrational state. Interactions can either reinforce your alignment or pull it downward, depending on the dynamics. This is not about isolating yourself, but about becoming discerning and choosing environments and relationships that support your growth and coherence. Alignment also involves listening to intuition. Often, when vibration is high and stable, intuitive insights flow with greater ease. This is because higher frequencies correspond to expanded awareness. Intuition is not a mysterious gift reserved for a few. It is a natural function of consciousness that becomes clearer when internal noise is reduced. When you act on intuitive guidance, your actions align more closely with deeper currents of reality, reinforcing the elevated vibrational state and creating a feedback loop that strengthens both intuition and alignment. Absolutely, understanding vibration and frequency changes how you approach life. Instead of seeing circumstances as random or fixed, you begin to see them as reflections of energetic patterns. You recognize that you have influence over these patterns through your inner state. You stop reacting blindly to events and start responding from a place of awareness. This shift does not eliminate difficulty, but it transforms your relationship to it. Challenges become opportunities to stabilize or elevate your vibration rather than excuses to spiral downward. Over time, maintaining higher frequencies becomes less of an effort and more of a natural state as alignment deepens and clarity grows. The power of alignment lies in its simplicity and consistency. When your vibration is clear and your frequency elevated, reality tends to mirror that state with surprising precision. This is not magic, it is resonance. The universe responds to the energetic signals you emit, and you respond to the universe in turn. By becoming aware of your vibrational state, raising it deliberately, and aligning your inner and outer worlds, you participate consciously in shaping your reality. This understanding forms a crucial foundation for living metaphysically in daily life, where inner harmony translates into outer coherence, and the invisible forces of vibration and frequency become powerful allies in creation. Chapter 5. Mindset Alchemy: Shifting from Scarcity to Abundance. At the heart of metaphysical living lies a profound truth. The way you perceive the world determines how you experience it. Two people can live under the same conditions, encounter similar challenges, and pursue similar goals, yet their realities may unfold in completely different ways. The difference often lies in mindset. One operates from scarcity, seeing limitations, obstacles, and insufficiency everywhere. The other operates from abundance, recognizing opportunities, potential, and flow, even amid challenges. Scarcity and abundance are not merely psychological attitudes, they are vibrational states that shape how reality responds. Shifting from one to the other is a form of inner alchemy, transforming the base metal of fear and lack into the gold of possibility and expansion. The scarcity mindset is rooted in the belief that there is not enough. It sees life as a competition for limited resources, where someone else's gain must come at one's own loss. It views opportunities as rare, success as elusive, and fulfillment as something constantly deferred. This mindset is often learned early, reinforced by cultural narratives that emphasize struggle, competition, and the need to protect what little one has. Over time, these beliefs become subconscious patterns that influence thoughts, emotions, and behavior. A person operating from scarcity may hoard rather than share, hesitate rather than act, or settle rather than aspire. Even when opportunities arise, Scarcity colors perception, causing them to seem unattainable or risky. Scarcity manifests in many subtle ways. It is present in the fear of missing out, the constant comparison with others, the impulse to control outcomes, and the belief that happiness depends on external conditions. It fuels anxiety about the future and regret about the past. It whispers that time is running out, that others are ahead, that there is not enough to go around. This mindset constricts energy, lowers vibration, and narrows awareness, making it difficult to perceive possibilities beyond immediate limitations. It creates self-fulfilling patterns where the fear of lack leads to actions that inadvertently reinforce lack. The abundance mindset, in contrast, rests on the understanding that the universe operates through infinite intelligence and flow. It recognizes that opportunities are not scarce but continuously generated, that creativity and resourcefulness expand possibilities, and that alignment with higher frequencies naturally attracts supportive circumstances. Abundance does not mean ignoring challenges or pretending resources are limitless. It means perceiving life through the lens of potential rather than limitation. It is a state of openness, trust, and participation in a larger creative process. Where scarcity sees competition, abundance sees collaboration. Where scarcity clings, abundance allows. Where scarcity reacts with fear, abundance responds with clarity. Shifting from scarcity to abundance begins with awareness. You must first notice the narratives you carry about limitation. These narratives often hide in everyday thoughts and language. Phrases like, "I can't afford that," "That's impossible," "There's never enough time," or "People like me don't get opportunities like that," reveal underlying scarcity beliefs. Observing these patterns, without judgment, allows you to bring them from the subconscious into the conscious mind. Once exposed, they can be questioned. Is the belief truly a fact, or is it a conditioned perspective? Does it serve your growth, or does it keep you confined? This process of inquiry loosens the grip of scarcity and creates space for new interpretations. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools for shifting vibration from scarcity to abundance. When you consistently focus on what is present and appreciated, your awareness expands. Gratitude shifts attention from what is lacking to what is already given, raising your vibrational frequency and aligning you with the flow of life. It is not a superficial exercise in forced positivity, but a genuine practice of recognizing value in the moment. Over time, gratitude trains the mind to perceive abundance even in small details, creating a feedback loop where appreciation attracts more to be appreciated. Another key element of abundance is trust. Scarcity thrives on the illusion of control. It insists on knowing every outcome, securing every variable, and guaranteeing safety before action. This is impossible, and the attempt to control everything leads to anxiety and stagnation. Abundance, however, involves trusting the process of life. It recognizes that the universe operates through patterns of intelligence that extend beyond individual understanding. Trust does not mean passivity. It means taking inspired action while allowing space for outcomes to unfold. When you trust, you release the tension that blocks flow. Decisions become clearer, and opportunities emerge more naturally. Expanding awareness also plays a role in mindset alchemy. Scarcity often arises from focusing too narrowly on immediate circumstances. When perspective broadens, new pathways become visible. This can involve stepping outside habitual environments, exposing yourself to different ideas, cultures, and people, or simply allowing yourself to imagine possibilities without immediate judgment. The more flexible and imaginative your awareness becomes, the less confined you are by perceived limitations. Abundance flourishes where curiosity and openness are cultivated. Action reinforces mindset. A person who believes opportunities are scarce will hesitate, waiting for perfect conditions that never come. One who believes in abundance acts from a place of confidence, knowing that each step creates new openings. This does not mean reckless behavior, but a willingness to engage with life proactively. Small actions aligned with an abundance mindset build momentum. Each positive outcome strengthens the belief that possibilities are real, which in turn generates further opportunities. Mindset and action form a self-reinforcing cycle, either of scarcity and stagnation or abundance and expansion. It is also important to address emotional patterns that support scarcity. Feelings of unworthiness, fear of failure, or unresolved past disappointments can anchor scarcity beliefs even when the conscious mind embraces abundance concepts. Emotional healing is part of the alchemical process. Forgiving past experiences, releasing self-judgment, and cultivating self-worth create the emotional foundation upon which abundance can thrive. Without this inner work, abundance practices risk becoming surface-level affirmations that do not penetrate deeply enough to create real change. Over time, the shift from scarcity to abundance transforms not only your personal experience, but also your interactions with others. Scarcity breeds competition and comparison, leading to isolation and guardedness. Abundance encourages generosity, collaboration, and connection. When you no longer see others' success as a threat to your own, relationships deepen and collective opportunities multiply. You begin to celebrate rather than envy, to share rather than hoard, to inspire rather than compete. This shift in relational energy amplifies abundance in ways that solitary effort cannot achieve. Mindset alchemy is not a one-time transformation, but an ongoing practice. Scarcity patterns may resurface during moments of stress or uncertainty, but with awareness, you learn to recognize and transmute them. Each time you choose abundance over fear, you strengthen the neural, emotional, and energetic pathways that support expansive living. Gradually, abundance becomes your default state, not through force, but through alignment with deeper truths about the nature of reality. The movement from scarcity to abundance is a journey inward as much as outward. It requires courage to question inherited beliefs, patience to cultivate new patterns, and trust to step into expanded ways of living. Yet this shift is foundational for metaphysical living because it aligns your inner state with the universal principle of expansion. The universe is not shrinking. It is constantly unfolding. By shifting your mindset to match this reality, you become an active participant in that unfolding, transforming your relationship with life from one of limitation to one of infinite potential. Chapter 6. The Metaphysics of Love, Relationships, and Connection. Human connection is one of the most profound arenas through which metaphysical principles manifest. Love, whether romantic, familial, platonic, or universal, is not merely an emotional state, but a powerful vibrational frequency that shapes reality in subtle and visible ways. Relationships serve as mirrors, teachers, and amplifiers of our inner world. They reveal hidden patterns, awaken dormant potentials, and offer opportunities to grow beyond the boundaries of the self. When understood through a metaphysical lens, love and connection become more than emotional exchanges. They become energetic interactions that reflect the deeper structure of consciousness. By understanding and working with these dynamics consciously, relationships transform from sources of confusion or pain into channels of growth, harmony, and shared evolution. Love is one of the highest frequencies available to human consciousness. It transcends personal desire and resonates with the essence of existence itself. When you are in a state of genuine love, not merely attachment or dependency, your vibration expands and becomes coherent. This state of coherence influences your personal energy field and affects the environment around you. People often speak of feeling uplifted in the presence of someone radiating love. And this is not metaphorical. The vibrational field generated by love entrains others, inviting resonance and alignment. Love is not something you chase or possess, it is something you cultivate and emanate. The relationships that form around you are attracted to and shaped by the quality of love you hold within. Relationships mirror the vibrational state of those involved. This is one of the most challenging but liberating metaphysical truths. The dynamics you experience with others often reflect your subconscious beliefs, unresolved emotions, and dominant frequencies. If you carry fears of abandonment, you may unconsciously attract situations that echo that fear. If you believe love must be earned through sacrifice, you may find yourself repeatedly in relationships that demand more than they give. Conversely, when you hold a vibration of self-worth, openness, and respect, you begin to attract and sustain connections that mirror those qualities. This is not about blaming yourself for others' actions, but about recognizing the creative interplay between inner and outer worlds. Understanding relationships metaphysically also involves seeing them as agreements on multiple levels of consciousness. Some connections arise for mutual support and growth, while others appear to challenge and refine aspects of the self that remain hidden. A difficult relationship is not always a sign of failure. It can be a catalyst for profound transformation when you stop viewing others as sources of happiness or pain and start seeing them as mirrors and collaborators in your evolution. Your approach to connection changes. Instead of clinging or resisting, you begin to observe and respond with greater awareness. This perspective does not strip relationships of emotion, but enriches them with deeper meaning. Self-love is the foundation upon which all healthy relationships are built. It is not narcissism or vanity, but the recognition of your inherent worth and the willingness to treat yourself with the same respect and compassion you extend to others. Without self-love, relationships often become attempts to fill internal voids, leading to dependency, imbalance, or conflict. Metaphysically, your relationship with yourself sets the vibrational template for all other connections. When you treat yourself with kindness, establish boundaries rooted in respect, and honor your emotional and spiritual needs, you broadcast a frequency that naturally attracts those who resonate with that same level of respect and care. Energetic exchange plays a significant role in connection. Every interaction involves a flow of energy between individuals. Words, gestures, emotions, and even unspoken thoughts transmit vibrational information. Sometimes, after spending time with someone, you feel invigorated, inspired, or calm. Other times, you may feel drained, anxious, or unsettled. These experiences reflect the subtle, energetic exchange occurring beneath the surface of conversation. Becoming aware of these dynamics allows you to navigate relationships more consciously. You learn to protect your energy without closing your heart, to give without depleting yourself, and to receive without guilt or resistance. Healthy, energetic boundaries are not walls, but filters that allow mutual nourishment rather than unconscious entanglement. Forgiveness is another essential metaphysical practice within relationships. Holding on to resentment or blame anchors you to lower vibrational states and perpetuates cycles of pain. Forgiveness is not condoning harmful behavior, but releasing the energetic bond that keeps you tied to it. When you forgive, you free yourself from the vibrational weight of the past, allowing new experiences to emerge unburdened. This does not mean maintaining every connection. Sometimes, the most loving act is to release someone and continue on separate paths. Forgiveness clears emotional and energetic space for growth both within and between individuals. Intuition also plays a vital role in navigating love and relationships. Beyond logic and surface appearances, there is a subtle knowing that guides you toward connections that align with your evolution and away from those that do not. Many people ignore this inner guidance, relying instead on external criteria or social expectations. Yet, the higher self communicates through intuitive nudges, subtle feelings, and synchronicities. When you listen and trust this guidance, relationships unfold with greater harmony. This does not guarantee perpetual ease, but it does ensure that the connections you cultivate are aligned with your authentic path rather than driven by fear, scarcity, or external pressure. Metaphysical awareness brings depth to love by revealing that relationships are not accidents or mere social arrangements. They are vibrational interactions between conscious beings participating in a shared field of creation. When you cultivate love within yourself, align with higher frequencies, and approach connection as a conscious exchange, the quality of your relationships transform. They become spaces for mutual evolution, rather than battlegrounds for unmet expectations. Communication deepens, trust strengthens, and the flow of energy between individuals becomes balanced and life-giving. At the same time, metaphysical understanding helps you navigate endings with grace. Not every relationship is meant to last forever. Some are seasonal, serving their purpose and then gently fading. Others endure and evolve, becoming long-term partnerships in growth. Recognizing the natural rhythms of connection prevents clinging born of fear and allows space for relationships to transform authentically. Love, at its highest expression, is not possession, but freedom. It allows both individuals to grow, whether together or apart, without constriction or resentment. Ultimately, love and connection are reflections of consciousness interacting with itself. Every relationship you experience, whether harmonious or challenging, offers a mirror to deeper layers of your being. By observing these reflections without judgment, aligning your vibration with love, and honoring the energetic exchanges that shape connection, you become an active participant in creating relationships that uplift, inspire, and expand. Love ceases to be something you pursue or fear losing. It becomes the natural state from which you live, and the relationships that form around you become expressions of that state, rather than attempts to compensate for its absence. In this way, metaphysical awareness transforms the landscape of love and connection from a realm of uncertainty and struggle into one of clarity, growth, and profound resonance. Chapter 7. Wealth and Material Manifestation. Wealth, in its deepest sense, is not merely the accumulation of money or possessions. It is the harmonious flow of energy through material form. It is a reflection of alignment between inner consciousness and the outer world. Many people misunderstand wealth as something entirely external, controlled by markets, chance, or inheritance. They see it as a scarce commodity to be hoarded, pursued, or competed for. From a metaphysical perspective, however, wealth is the natural outcome of resonance with the principles of abundance, vibration, and creative flow. Material manifestation begins in consciousness, takes shape through belief and emotion, and crystallizes into tangible reality through consistent alignment and action. Money itself is neutral. It is a medium of exchange, a symbol representing value, trust, and flow. It carries the vibration of the people and systems that use it, but in its essence, it is neither good nor evil. How individuals relate to money determines the experiences they create with it. Some approach it with fear, guilt, or a sense of unworthiness, which disrupts the flow and leads to cycles of scarcity. Others approach it with openness, clarity, and respect, allowing it to circulate naturally. When wealth is viewed not as something separate from consciousness, but as an extension of it, the entire dynamic shifts. Instead of chasing external outcomes, the focus turns inward to align vibration and belief with the flow of abundance. The first step in material manifestation is understanding that reality responds to the vibrational state you hold. If wealth is pursued from a place of fear, desperation, or lack, the energetic signal being sent is scarcity. Even if temporary gains occur, they are often unstable because the underlying frequency remains conflicted. By contrast, when wealth is approached from a state of trust, creativity, and alignment, the outer world begins to reflect those qualities. Opportunities emerge more readily, resources circulate, and financial decisions are guided by clarity rather than panic. This does not mean money appears out of nowhere without effort, but that effort becomes more focused and effective because it is aligned with supportive energies rather than fighting against them. Beliefs about wealth play a decisive role in shaping outcomes. Many people inherit unconscious narratives about money from family, culture, or past experiences. These narratives may include ideas such as, "Money is the root of all problems, people like me never get ahead," or, "If I become wealthy, others will resent me." Such beliefs operate below conscious awareness, subtly influencing decisions and behaviors in ways that maintain financial limitation. Bringing these beliefs to light and consciously reshaping them is essential for transformation. Replacing limiting beliefs with ones that reflect abundance and flow does not happen through superficial affirmations alone, but through deep inner inquiry and consistent emotional reinforcement. Gratitude is a powerful practice for aligning with wealth. When you appreciate the resources already present in your life, no matter how modest, you shift your attention from lack to presence. This elevates your vibration and opens the energetic channels through which more can flow. Gratitude signals to the subconscious mind and the universe that you are aware of and capable of stewarding what you receive. This creates a positive feedback loop where appreciation attracts further opportunities to appreciate. It also reduces the anxiety and impatience that often accompany scarcity thinking, allowing you to act from a place of calm rather than desperation. Another key element of wealth manifestation is the ability to receive. Many people are comfortable with the idea of giving but unconsciously resist receiving. They may feel unworthy, fear indebtedness, or associate receiving with weakness. This resistance creates energetic blockages. The flow of abundance depends on both giving and receiving, like inhaling and exhaling. When you open yourself to receiving without guilt or self-judgment, you align with the natural rhythm of circulation. Opportunities, gifts, and support that were previously overlooked or dismissed become visible and accessible. Receiving does not diminish independence. It acknowledges interconnection. Taking inspired action is where metaphysical understanding meets the material world. While consciousness shapes reality, physical action anchors that consciousness in tangible form. An idea held only in the mind remains potential. Action turns it into manifestation. However, not all actions are equal. Actions taken from fear or obligation tend to yield strange results, while actions inspired by intuition, clarity, and genuine enthusiasm carry a different vibration. They align more naturally with favorable outcomes. Developing the ability to discern inspired action requires attunement to your higher self and trust in inner guidance. When you act in harmony with your inner state, material results often arrive through unexpected pathways. Wealth also involves stewardship. When resources flow into your life, how you manage and circulate them affects future manifestations. Generosity, wise investment, and responsible use of wealth keep the energetic current moving, while hoarding or misuse can stagnate it. This does not mean reckless spending, but recognizing that money is a dynamic force. Circulating wealth with intention, whether through supporting others, investing in growth, or improving your environment, amplifies its flow. The vibration of generosity attracts further abundance because it mirrors the expansive nature of the universe itself. Another aspect to consider is detachment. While desire is a natural and creative force, attachment can constrict flow. When you hold a goal with desperation or rigid expectation, you create tension that can block manifestation. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means maintaining clarity of intention while allowing flexibility in how and when results appear. It is the balance between focused vision and trust in the unfolding process. This balance keeps vibration steady and receptive, even in periods of uncertainty. Scarcity consciousness often leads to competition and comparison. When wealth is viewed as limited, others' success is perceived as a threat. This mindset lowers vibration and creates unnecessary barriers. Abundance consciousness recognizes that wealth is not a fixed pie, but a flowing current that can expand through creativity, collaboration, and alignment. Celebrating others' prosperity rather than resenting it reinforces your own alignment with abundance. The universe reflects the emotional and vibrational signals you emit. Envy signals lack, while genuine celebration signals participation in the flow of plenty. Material manifestation also requires patience. Seeds planted in consciousness take time to grow. Doubt often arises in the space between intention and manifestation, and this doubt can disrupt the process. Trusting the unfolding, staying aligned, and continuing to act with clarity during this period allows manifestation to mature fully. Impatience is a subtle form of scarcity. implying that what you desire might not come unless forced. Patience, by contrast, reflects confidence in the process and keeps vibrations stable. Wealth and material manifestation are not isolated pursuits. They are deeply interconnected with emotional patterns, beliefs, and vibrational states. When you align your inner world with the principles of abundance, release limiting narratives, cultivate gratitude, open yourself to receiving, take inspired action, and steward resources wisely, material wealth becomes a natural reflection of your consciousness. This alignment transforms wealth from something elusive and external into something participatory and creative. You stop chasing outcomes and begin participating in the universal flow that sustains all material expression. In this way, wealth becomes more than money. It becomes a reflection of harmony between inner and outer worlds. Material manifestation is no longer a struggle against scarcity, but a dance with abundance. You engage with the material world not as a battlefield of competition, but as a canvas upon which your consciousness paints. When approached metaphysically, wealth ceases to be an object of fear or obsession and becomes a natural aspect of living in alignment with the expansive currents of existence. Chapter 8. Health, Vitality, and Energetic Well-Being. Health is often approached as a purely physical matter, measured by medical tests, physical symptoms, and external indicators. While these are important, they represent only one layer of a much larger reality. Metaphysically, health is not simply the absence of illness, but the harmonious flow of energy through body, mind, and spirit. Vitality arises when the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual dimensions of being are aligned and balanced. Illness, fatigue, or imbalance often signals disruptions or blockages in this flow. By understanding health through a metaphysical lens, we begin to see the body not as an isolated machine, but as an intricate expression of consciousness, responding continuously to thoughts, emotions, and energetic patterns. The human body is an extraordinary vessel, constantly regenerating, adapting, and maintaining balance. Beneath its physical structure lies an energetic system that includes subtle currents, fields, and centers through which life force flows. Different traditions describe this system in various ways, using terms like prana, chi, or bioenergy, but the principle remains consistent. Health is sustained when this energy moves freely and coherently. Disruptions in flow often precede physical symptoms. Chronic stress, unresolved emotions, limiting beliefs, and prolonged states of fear or resentment can create energetic patterns that eventually manifest as fatigue or illness. By addressing the energetic roots of imbalance, it becomes possible to support the body's natural capacity to heal and thrive. Emotions play a particularly significant role in health. Each emotional state carries a vibrational frequency that affects both the energetic and physical bodies. Joy, love, gratitude, and peace promote expansion, relaxation, and harmony. Prolonged states of anger, guilt, or fear, on the other hand, create contraction and tension. These emotional patterns influence biochemical processes, hormonal balance, and immune responses. For example, persistent stress triggers the release of hormones that, over time, can weaken the body's resilience. When emotional energy is acknowledged, expressed, and transformed rather than suppressed, the body responds with greater vitality. Emotional health is not a separate domain, but a central pillar of overall well-being. Thoughts and beliefs are equally influential. The subconscious mind stores countless narratives about the body, aging, illness, and healing. These narratives quietly shape how the body functions. If someone holds deep-seated beliefs that illness is inevitable with age, the body often conforms to that expectation. If, however, a person believes in the body's intelligence and capacity for renewal, they align with frequencies that support resilience and longevity. This does not mean denying the physical realities of biology, but recognizing the profound influence that consciousness exerts on those realities. Healing often begins when limiting beliefs are brought to light and replaced with perspectives that support vitality. Another dimension of health is the relationship between inner alignment and outer lifestyle. Diet, movement, rest, and environment all influence energetic well-being, but their effectiveness depends on the state of consciousness behind them. A person who eats healthy food out of fear of disease may not receive the same benefits as someone who eats with gratitude and trust. Exercise performed as punishment feels different energetically from movement done with joy and appreciation for the body. The vibrational quality of your actions influences their impact. Aligning external habits with internal states of respect, love, and care amplifies their effect on health. Energy centers, often referred to in metaphysical traditions as chakras, are focal points where life force gathers and distributes throughout the body. When these centers are balanced and open, energy flows smoothly, supporting physical and emotional well-being. When they are blocked or overactive, imbalances can manifest. For example, chronic fear can constrict the energy at the base of the spine, affecting feelings of safety and stability. Unexpressed emotions can create blockages in the heart center, leading to feelings of heaviness or disconnection. Metaphysical practices such as meditation, breath work, visualization, and mindful movement can help restore balance to these centers, allowing energy to circulate more freely and supporting overall health. The environment in which you live and work also plays a role in health. Spaces carry vibrational imprints from past events, emotions, and the people who inhabit them. Clutter, stagnant air, or harsh lighting can create subtle stress that affects both mood and vitality. In contrast, clean, well-ventilated, and aesthetically pleasing spaces support energetic flow and mental clarity. Time spent in nature is particularly beneficial, as natural environments resonate with frequencies that help restore balance. Many people experience improved well-being simply by spending regular time outdoors, walking near trees, water, or open skies, which recalibrates their energetic field. Healing is not always instantaneous, nor does it mean returning to a previous state. Sometimes it involves transformation on multiple levels. Physical symptoms may prompt deeper emotional work, and emotional healing may require shifts in belief systems or lifestyle. When approached metaphysically, healing becomes less about fighting against illness and more about restoring harmony within the entire system of being. This holistic approach recognizes that the body has intelligence and that symptoms are not enemies but messages. They invite awareness of deeper patterns that need attention. Forgiveness and emotional release are powerful aspects of this process. Holding on to resentment or guilt creates energetic contractions that can linger for years, quietly influencing health. Letting go does not mean condoning harm, it means freeing yourself from the vibrational weight of the past. Emotional release practices such as journaling, breathwork, or conscious conversation allow stagnant energies to move. As they do, physical vitality often improves and mental clarity expands. The body responds to inner freedom with renewed resilience. The spiritual connection also contributes significantly to health and vitality. A sense of purpose, connection to something larger than oneself, or moments of awe and reverence all elevate vibration and support well-being. Whether experienced through prayer, meditation, artistic expression, or immersion in nature, these states remind the body and mind of their place within a larger, intelligent order. This perspective reduces stress, fosters trust in life, and strengthens the body's natural healing capacities. The metaphysical approach to health does not reject medical science. Rather, it complements it. Physical interventions address tangible symptoms, while metaphysical practices address the underlying energetic and psychological patterns that influence those symptoms. Integrating both creates a comprehensive approach to well-being. A medical treatment may relieve pain, while simultaneous emotional healing and vibrational alignment prevent recurrence. By working on multiple levels, health becomes not a temporary condition, but a sustained state of balance. Ultimately, vitality arises from coherence between inner and outer worlds. When thoughts, emotions, beliefs, actions, and environment resonate harmoniously, energy flows freely through the body. The immune system functions optimally, the mind is clear, emotions are balanced, and the spirit feels connected. Illness may still occur, as the human experience includes cycles of growth and challenge, but the body and mind navigate these cycles with greater ease. Health becomes less about control and more about cooperation with the intelligence of life. Energetic well-being is not reserved for a select few. It is a natural state that can be cultivated through awareness, intentional living, and emotional honesty. By aligning consciousness with the flow of life force, addressing energetic blockages, nurturing the body with respect, and maintaining a harmonious environment, you participate in the ongoing creation of your health. Rather than viewing the body as something separate to be managed, you begin to experience it as a living expression of your consciousness, responsive to your thoughts, emotions, and choices. In this way, health becomes both a reflection of inner alignment and a foundation for living fully in the physical world. Chapter 9. Metaphysical Practices for Daily Life. Understanding metaphysical principles is only the beginning. Knowledge, no matter how profound, remains inert until it is embodied through consistent practice. The daily rhythm of life provides endless opportunities to apply metaphysical awareness, transforming abstract concepts into tangible experiences. Metaphysical practices are not rigid rituals bound by dogma, but living methods of aligning consciousness, vibration, and action. They train the mind to focus, the emotions to stabilize, and the energetic field to resonate with clarity and intention. When integrated into everyday routines, these practices become a way of being rather than occasional exercises, steadily reshaping the landscape of reality from the inside out. Visualization is one of the most effective ways to bridge thought and manifestation. The subconscious mind responds vividly to mental imagery, often more powerfully than to words. When you visualize a desired outcome with emotional involvement and sensory detail, you create a vibrational imprint that the subconscious accepts as real. Over time, this imprint influences perception, behavior, and the energetic signals you send into the world. Effective visualization is not forced daydreaming, but focused imaginative engagement. It involves seeing, feeling, and embodying the desired state as if it already exists, allowing the subconscious to adjust beliefs and actions accordingly. Regular practice, even for a few minutes each day, strengthens this connection between inner vision and external manifestation. Affirmations work in a complementary way, using language to reshape mental and emotional patterns. Spoken or internalized repeatedly, affirmations bypass the conscious mind's habitual doubts and gradually reprogram the subconscious with new beliefs. For affirmations to be effective, they must be stated clearly, positively, and in the present tense. They should evoke genuine feeling rather than hollow repetition. A statement such as, "I am aligned with abundance and opportunity," carries more power when accompanied by a sense of conviction or emotional resonance. Over time, affirmations alter the inner dialogue, replacing limiting narratives with empowering ones, which then influence the vibrational field you project. Meditation is a foundational practice for metaphysical living because it cultivates stillness and awareness. In the quiet space of meditation, the constant chatter of the conscious mind softens, allowing deeper layers of consciousness to emerge. This state of receptivity heightens sensitivity to intuition, stabilizes emotional fluctuations, and clears energetic blockages. Meditation need not follow a single format. It can be as simple as sitting in silence and observing the breath, using mantras, or focusing on sensations in the body. Consistency matters more than duration. Even a brief period of meditation each day can create cumulative effects, helping you respond to life with greater clarity rather than reacting from habit. Breathwork is another powerful method of aligning energy. The breath is both physical and metaphysical, bridging the body and consciousness. Conscious breathing regulates the nervous system, calms emotional turbulence, and influences vibrational frequency. Deep, slow, intentional breathing brings you into the present moment, clears mental clutter, and opens channels of energy throughout the body. Practices such as alternate nostril breathing, rhythmic breathing, or simply pausing for several deep breaths during moments of stress can shift your state rapidly. Over time, breathwork enhances vitality and deepens your capacity to remain centered amid external fluctuation. Scripting is a written form of visualization and affirmation combined. It involves describing your desired reality in detail as if it is already unfolding. By writing in the present tense and engaging emotional imagination, you impress these visions upon the subconscious. Scripting can take the form of daily journal entries that describe experiences you intend to manifest, such as relationships, creative achievements, or personal growth. The act of writing crystallizes thought, giving it structure and clarity. This clarity strengthens both belief and vibration, making it easier for your actions and environment to align with the envisioned outcomes. Gratitude practices amplify vibration by shifting focus from lack to presence. Regularly acknowledging what is already flowing well in your life trains your consciousness to attune to abundance. This can be as simple as mentally noting things you appreciate each morning or keeping a gratitude journal. The key is authenticity. Mechanical listing has limited effect, but genuine appreciation radiates high frequencies that influence both your emotional state and the energetic field around you. Gratitude also softens resistance, making it easier for new manifestations to enter without being blocked by impatience or doubt. Grounding connects metaphysical awareness to the physical world. Without grounding, spiritual practices can remain abstract, detached, or unbalanced. Walking barefoot on natural ground, spending time in nature, or engaging in mindful physical movement like yoga or stretching anchors energy into the body. This connection stabilizes the nervous system, clears mental fog, and integrates higher frequencies into daily functioning. Grounding reminds you that metaphysical principles are not separate from physical existence, but intertwined with it, expressed through every breath, step, and interaction. Intuitive listening is a subtler but equally important daily practice. The higher self communicates through nudges, subtle feelings, synchronicities, and quiet insights. Amid the noise of modern life, these signals are often overlooked. Setting aside moments each day to tune inward strengthens this channel. It might involve sitting in silence and asking an open-ended question, paying attention to the sensations that arise, or simply noticing patterns in external events that mirror inner thoughts. Trusting and acting on these intuitive signals, even in small matters, builds a relationship of reliability with your inner guidance, which then extends to larger decisions and life directions. Energy cleansing is useful for maintaining clarity. As you interact with people and environments, you naturally pick up residual energetic imprints that can accumulate over time. Practices like bathing with the intention of washing away stagnant energy, visualizing light surrounding and purifying your body, burning natural herbs, or simply using breath and intention to clear your field can help maintain energetic hygiene. Just as you clean your physical space, cleansing your energetic space keeps your vibrations stable and your mind clear. The effectiveness of these practices does not depend on rigid schedules or dramatic rituals. What matters most is sincerity, consistency, and alignment with personal rhythm. Some people find a few minutes of daily meditation and visualization transformative, while others prefer writing, movement, or creative expression as their primary methods. Metaphysical practices are tools, and like any tools, their power comes from skillful use and integration into real life. Over time, they shift your baseline state of consciousness, making alignment more natural and less effortful. Daily metaphysical practice is not about escaping reality, but engaging with it more consciously. It allows you to navigate challenges without losing your center, to shape opportunities through intention rather than chance, and to cultivate a relationship with life that is participatory and creative. By consistently practicing visualization, affirmation, meditation, breathwork, scripting, gratitude, grounding, intuitive listening, and energy cleansing, you align the unseen forces of consciousness with the tangible events of daily experience. What begins as deliberate exercise eventually becomes second nature, transforming your inner world and through it, the reality you inhabit. Chapter 10. Living intentionally, crafting your reality with conscious choice. Life is constantly unfolding, shaped by a mixture of deliberate choices, unconscious patterns, and external influences. Most people move through their days reacting to circumstances rather than consciously shaping them. They follow habitual routines, respond automatically to challenges, and make decisions from inherited beliefs rather than self-directed vision. Metaphysical living invites a different approach. It asks you to recognize that your consciousness is not a passive passenger, but an active participant in creation. Living intentionally means bringing awareness into every layer of your existence, thoughts, emotions, actions, and environment, and choosing to align these with the reality you wish to experience. It is the art of crafting your life deliberately rather than by default. Intention is more than mere desire. Desire can be fleeting, arising from momentary impulses, but intention is focused, steady, and infused with will. It is a clear decision to direct energy toward a chosen outcome. When you set an intention, you create a vibrational template that begins to organize your inner world and, over time, influences your outer reality. Without intention, energy disperses into scattered thoughts and reactions. With intention, it flows coherently, guiding decisions and aligning circumstances with your chosen path. This is why people who live with clear intentions often seem to move through life with purpose, even amid uncertainty. Their internal compass is set, and their actions follow accordingly. Living intentionally begins with self-awareness. You cannot direct what you do not observe. Many of the choices that shape reality occur below the level of conscious attention. Automatic emotional responses, habitual thought patterns, and unexamined beliefs quietly guide behavior, often in directions that do not align with deeper desires. The first step toward intentional living is to slow down and observe. Notice the thoughts that repeat most often throughout the day. Pay attention to the emotional tones that accompany your decisions. Recognize the beliefs that underlie your reactions. This process is not about self-criticism, but about bringing light to the mechanisms that have been shaping your reality unconsciously. Once awareness is cultivated, you can begin to set intentions with clarity. Effective intentions are specific enough to give direction but flexible enough to allow the universe to unfold in ways you might not anticipate. For example, intending to live a life of meaningful work and financial ease is more powerful than rigidly fixating on a single job title or outcome. The intention establishes the vibrational foundation, while flexibility allows space for intuitive guidance and unexpected opportunities. This balance between focus and openness is essential because the path to manifestation often involves variables beyond conscious planning. Intention must be supported by aligned action. A clear vision without corresponding behavior remains a mental construct. Action anchors intention in the physical world, turning energy into form. However, not all actions are equal. Actions taken from fear, obligation, or desperation can distort the original intention, while actions inspired by clarity and inner guidance strengthen it. Intentional living involves listening closely to intuition, assessing opportunities, and taking steps that resonate both practically and energetically. Even small, consistent actions can produce profound shifts when they are aligned with clear intention. Another key element of intentional living is emotional alignment. Thoughts may set the direction, but emotions provide the vibrational power that drives manifestation. If your intention is to create abundance, but your emotional state is dominated by fear or doubt, your signal becomes incoherent. Cultivating emotional states that match your intentions through gratitude, visualization, affirmations, or grounding practices amplifies their impact. Emotional alignment is not about suppressing negative feelings, but about guiding yourself back to the frequencies that support your chosen reality. This inner coherence makes outer manifestation more fluid and natural. Attention is another powerful tool in crafting reality. Where you direct your attention determines where energy flows. Many people unintentionally give most of their attention to problems, worries, or distractions, strengthening those aspects of their experience. Living intentionally means becoming deliberate about where and how you focus your awareness. This might involve limiting exposure to sources of negativity, consciously choosing what media you consume, or regularly redirecting your thoughts towards solutions and opportunities. Attention is like sunlight. Wherever it shines, growth occurs. By choosing what you focus on, you shape which aspects of reality flourish. Creating supportive environments also reinforces intentional living. Your physical surroundings, social circles, and daily routines either align with your intentions or pull you away from them. A cluttered or chaotic environment can scatter focus, while an organized, inspiring space can amplify clarity. Relationships that drain energy can derail progress, while those that support and inspire can accelerate growth. Evaluating and adjusting your environment is not about perfectionism, but about ensuring that your outer world reflects and supports your inner intentions. Living intentionally also involves embracing responsibility. This does not mean blaming yourself for every outcome, but recognizing your role as a co-creator in the unfolding of reality. When you accept that your thoughts, emotions, and choices contribute to your experiences, you step out of the role of victim and into the role of conscious participant. This perspective empowers you to make changes rather than waiting for external circumstances to dictate your path. Responsibility is not a burden but a form of freedom because it places the power to shape reality where it belongs, within your own consciousness. Flexibility and trust are essential companions to intention. While intention gives direction, trust allows you to remain open to the unexpected ways life may fulfill it. Reality often unfolds in non-linear paths. A door may close only to redirect you towards something better aligned. Intentional living is not about rigid control, but about maintaining a steady focus while allowing the flow of life to reveal the details. This balance between deliberate choice and openness to the unknown is where the deepest manifestations occur, because it harmonizes personal will with universal intelligence. Daily reflection strengthens the practice of living intentionally. Taking time at the end of each day to review where your actions and thoughts aligned with your intentions and where they drifted creates ongoing self-awareness. This reflection is not for self-criticism, but for gentle realignment. Over time, intentionality becomes second nature, embedded in every decision and interaction. You begin to notice how life responds differently when you are conscious and deliberate. Synchronicities increase, challenges become opportunities for refinement, and the gap between inner vision and outer reality narrows. Ultimately, living intentionally is about claiming authorship of your life. It does not mean controlling every event, which is impossible, but consciously shaping your responses, focus, and direction. It means living with clarity rather than confusion, with purpose rather than passivity. As you integrate intention into your daily thoughts, emotions, actions, and environment, your reality begins to reflect this coherent. Life stops feeling like a series of random occurrences and starts unfolding as a meaningful collaboration between your consciousness and the vast, intelligent universe in which you exist. Through intentional living, you craft a life that resonates with who you truly are, step by deliberate step. Chapter 11. Overcoming resistance, doubt, and the ego's illusions. On the path of conscious creation and metaphysical living, resistance and doubt inevitably arise. They are not signs of failure, but natural elements of growth. As you begin to align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with higher frequencies and deliberate intentions, parts of your psyche that have long operated in familiar patterns will push back. The ego, conditioned beliefs, and subconscious fears often resist change, not out of malice, but out of an instinctive desire to preserve the status quo. Overcoming these inner barriers is essential because they shape the energetic signals you emit and therefore influence what manifests in your reality. Understanding the nature of resistance and doubt allows you to work with them intelligently rather than being derailed by their presence. Resistance often appears when new intentions challenge deeply ingrained patterns. You may set a clear goal, visualize it vividly, and take inspired action, only to encounter inner friction in the form of procrastination, rationalization, or emotional discomfort. This is the subconscious mind responding to unfamiliar territory. The subconscious prefers what is known, even if it is limiting, because familiarity feels safe. When a new intention threatens old narratives, resistance emerges as a protective mechanism. Recognizing this allows you to approach resistance with patience rather than frustration. Instead of seeing it as an obstacle, you can view it as evidence that transformation is underway, a sign that you are moving beyond old boundaries. Doubt is another frequent companion on this journey. Doubt often arises in the space between intention and manifestation, when tangible results have not yet appeared. In this liminal space, the mind may question whether your efforts are working, whether your goals are realistic, or whether the metaphysical principles you rely on have any real effect. Doubt can feel destabilizing because it shakes the emotional foundation needed to sustain a coherent vibrational state. Yet doubt is not inherently destructive. It becomes a problem only when it leads to disengagement or negative emotional spirals. When met with awareness, doubt can serve as an invitation to refine your beliefs, deepen trust, and strengthen emotional alignment. The ego plays a central role in generating resistance and doubt. The ego is the aspect of consciousness that identifies with personal history, roles, and perceived separateness. Its function is to maintain a sense of continuity and control. When metaphysical practices begin to dissolve limiting beliefs and expand awareness, the ego may interpret this as a threat to its authority. It can manifest resistance through subtle internal narratives. This will never work. You're not the kind of person who succeeds at this. Better to stay with what you know. These thoughts are designed to keep you within the familiar territory the ego governs. Recognizing them for what they are, protective mechanisms rather than objective truths, is a crucial step in transcending them. One effective way to work with resistance is to bring it into the light of consciousness without judgment. When resistance arises, pause and observe it. Identify the thoughts, emotions, or physical sensations that accompany it. Often, simply acknowledging resistance weakens its hold. Naming the feeling, whether it is fear, uncertainty, or defensiveness, allows you to separate it from your identity. You are not the resistance. You are the awareness noticing it. This subtle but powerful shift prevents unconscious patterns from dictating your behavior. Over time, repeated observation of resistance without reacting to it teaches the subconscious that change is not dangerous, gradually reducing its intensity. Doubt can be addressed through both reason and faith. On the rational level, reminding yourself of past experiences where intentions have manifested successfully can counteract doubt's tendency to dismiss progress. Keeping a journal of synchronicities, achievements, or shifts in perception helps ground abstract beliefs in tangible evidence. On a deeper level, cultivating trust in the unfolding process steadies the emotional state. Trust does not mean ignoring practical challenges, but maintaining confidence that your efforts, when aligned with clear intention and elevated vibration, will yield results in the right time and form. This trust stabilizes the vibrational signal, allowing manifestations to mature without being disrupted by emotional volatility. Another strategy for overcoming resistance and doubt is incremental action. Large goals can trigger subconscious alarm, while small, consistent steps reassure the mind that progress is safe and manageable. Each action, no matter how modest, signals to the subconscious that change is real and achievable. Over time, these actions build momentum, transforming resistance into cooperation. Incremental progress also provides continual evidence that counters doubt, reinforcing belief and emotional stability. This approach mirrors the natural rhythm of growth found in nature, where transformation occurs gradually but consistently. The ego's illusions often revolve around control and identity. It believes it must control every outcome to ensure safety and defines itself through familiar patterns, even those that cause suffering. One illusion is that if you cannot see how something will happen, it cannot happen. Metaphysical principles reveal the opposite. The path often unfolds through means beyond conscious prediction. Another illusion is that change threatens your identity. In truth, growth expands identity rather than erasing it, allowing you to express more of your potential. By recognizing these illusions, you can engage with the ego compassionately, reassuring it that growth does not mean annihilation, but evolution. Emotional regulation plays a significant role in transcending doubt and resistance. When fear or frustration arises, practices such as deep breathing, grounding, or brief meditation can stabilize the nervous system, preventing emotional surges from overwhelming intention. Emotional stability keeps your vibrational state coherent, even during challenging moments. This steadiness is crucial because emotional turbulence often amplifies doubt, making it appear more convincing than it is. By maintaining emotional balance, you create a stable platform from which intention can operate effectively. It is also important to accept that resistance and doubt may never disappear completely. They are part of the human experience and often accompany meaningful growth. The goal is not to eliminate them, but to change your relationship with them. When you no longer see resistance as an enemy or doubt as proof of failure, their power diminishes. They become signals indicating areas that need attention, refinement, or deeper trust. This perspective prevents you from being caught in endless internal battles and allows energy to flow toward creation rather than conflict. Overcoming these inner barriers requires patience and compassion. Self-judgment only strengthens resistance, while gentle persistence dissolves it over time. Every moment you notice and choose to move through resistance or doubt strengthens your capacity to live intentionally. Gradually, the mind learns that unfamiliar does not mean unsafe, that doubt does not invalidate progress, and that the ego's stories are not ultimate truths. This growing resilience allows you to navigate the inevitable fluctuations of the manifestation process without losing alignment. When resistance softens and doubt is met with steady awareness, intention operates more freely. The vibrational signal you emit becomes clearer, your actions more consistent, and your trust in the unfolding deepens. Manifestations that once seemed distant begin to materialize with greater ease, not because challenges disappear, but because your relationship to them changes. You are no longer pushed off course by every inner wave, but remain steady, guiding your reality with conscious choice. In this way, overcoming resistance, doubt, and the ego's illusions is not merely a preliminary step, but a continuous aspect of living metaphysically, ensuring that your inner alignment remains stable as you navigate the ever-unfolding landscape of creation. Chapter 12. Expansion and Mastery. Becoming a Conscious Creator. The journey of metaphysical living does not end with understanding principles or applying practices. It culminates in expansion and mastery, a state in which you move through life as an active, aware participant in the creative process, rather than as a passive recipient of circumstances. Mastery does not imply control over every event or the elimination of all challenges. Instead, it signifies a deep alignment between inner consciousness and outer reality, a harmonious relationship with the universal forces that shape existence. Expansion refers to the continual unfolding of your awareness, capacity, and vibrational range as you consciously engage with life. This chapter explores what it means to embody these states and live as a conscious creator. Becoming a conscious creator begins with the recognition that your inner world is the primary blueprint for the reality you experience. Thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and intentions are not private, inert phenomena. They are active forces that shape the energetic patterns from which reality emerges. Mastery involves consistently observing and refining these inner elements. It is not about perfection, but about awareness and responsiveness. When you notice misaligned thoughts, reactive emotions, or outdated beliefs, you do not condemn them, but bring them into alignment with your chosen vision. This ongoing process is similar to tuning a musical instrument. With practice, the adjustments become subtle, intuitive, and fluid. Expansion occurs as you realize that your creative capacity is far greater than you previously imagined. Many people live within self-imposed boundaries defined by cultural conditioning, personal history, or fear. These boundaries shape not only their behavior but also their perception of what is possible. As you align with metaphysical principles and apply them consistently, these boundaries begin to dissolve. You start to perceive opportunities that were previously invisible, sense connections between seemingly unrelated events, and experience synchronicities that confirm the responsiveness of reality. Expansion is not a one-time event, but a gradual widening of awareness, like a horizon that keeps stretching as you move forward. Mastery requires trust in both yourself and the larger intelligence of the universe. Conscious creation involves a partnership between personal intention and universal flow. You bring clarity, focus, and action, while the universe responds with opportunities, connections, and timing that often surpass what your conscious mind could have orchestrated. Trust is what allows you to maintain alignment even when the path is not fully visible. Doubt may arise, circumstances may fluctuate, but your inner state remains steady because you understand the larger process at work. This trust does not make you passive. It empowers you to act boldly while remaining open to outcomes beyond your immediate plan. Another dimension of mastery is emotional sovereignty. As your awareness expands, you no longer let transient emotions dictate your direction. You acknowledge feelings as valid signals but do not become captive to them. This stability allows you to maintain a coherent vibrational state even in uncertain or challenging situations. Emotional sovereignty does not mean suppression. It means awareness, acceptance, and the ability to return to alignment through practiced method. This capacity is crucial for sustained creation because emotional turbulence often disrupts the vibrational signal that shapes reality. Mastery brings a kind of quiet power, a steadiness that persists amid change. Living as a conscious creator also involves embracing responsibility at the deepest level. You recognize that you are an active contributor to the unfolding of your life, not a passive bystander. This responsibility is not burdensome but liberating. It means that your reality is not determined solely by external forces, but by the quality of your consciousness. This perspective eliminates the need for constant blame, whether directed outward at circumstances or inward at yourself. Instead, it fosters a sense of empowered participation. When challenges arise, you ask not only how to solve them externally, but also what inner patterns they might be reflecting. This shift accelerates growth and keeps you aligned with your creative power. Expansion naturally leads to a broader perspective on desires and goals. Early on, conscious creation often focuses on personal achievements, material abundance, or emotional fulfillment. As your awareness expands, these goals remain meaningful but are understood within a larger context. You begin to see your creative power as part of an interconnected web. Your desires evolve to include not only personal well-being, but also contributions to the collective. You recognize that as you raise your vibration and live intentionally, you influence others and the environment around you. Mastery includes using your creative capacity not only for personal gain, but for uplifting and harmonizing the wider world. Another sign of mastery is flexibility. Rigid attachment to specific outcomes creates tension that can block flow. As a conscious creator, you set clear intentions, but remain open to how they manifest. You understand that the universe may deliver outcomes through unexpected channels, often better than what you initially envisioned. This flexibility allows you to move with the rhythms of life rather than against them. It brings ease to the manifestation process and deepens your trust in the intelligent unfolding of reality. Flexibility is not passive surrender, but a dynamic dance between intention and receptivity. Inner silence and presence deepen as mastery develops. The need for constant mental activity diminishes because you no longer rely solely on the analytical mind to navigate life. Intuitive insight becomes a trusted companion, arising naturally when the mind is quiet. This presence is not detached or indifferent, but deeply engaged and aware. It allows you to perceive subtle energies, respond to life with clarity, and act from a place of grounded wisdom. Presence is both a practice and a state of being, cultivated through meditation, reflection, and conscious living. Expansion also involves embracing change as a natural part of existence. Growth requires continual transformation. As your awareness widens, old identities, roles, or patterns may fall away. This can be disorienting at times. But mastery involves meeting change with openness rather than resistance. You understand that letting go is often a prerequisite for receiving more aligned experiences. Instead of clinging to the familiar, you trust the process of unfolding, knowing that expansion always leads to richer, more coherent expressions of your potential. Ultimately, becoming a conscious creator means living with a sense of deliberate participation in the fabric of existence. You recognize that reality is not something happening to you, but something happening through you and with you. You understand that challenges are not punishments, but opportunities for refinement. You see that abundance is not scarce, but a reflection of vibrational alignment. You trust that the universe is responsive, intelligent, and participatory. This understanding frees you from the cycle of unconscious reaction and places you in the realm of deliberate creation. Mastery is not a static achievement, but an evolving relationship with life. There is no final destination where all challenges cease. Instead, there is a deepening capacity to navigate the currents of existence with awareness, trust, and creative power. As you continue to expand, each new level of awareness reveals further dimensions of possibility. Living as a conscious creator becomes less about striving for specific results and more about embodying a state of harmony with the universal forces that shape reality. In this state, creation becomes natural, effortless, and aligned with both personal vision and the greater flow of life. You stand not outside of reality, but within it, fully aware, fully engaged, and continually expanding. The Epilogue. The journey continues, awakening to infinite possibility. The exploration of metaphysics in daily life is not a path with a fixed endpoint, but an ever-unfolding journey of awareness. Each principle, practice, and insight offered throughout this book is a doorway rather than a destination. Once opened, these doors reveal deeper layers of reality, inviting continued discovery. Metaphysical living is not about escaping the world, but engaging with it more fully, recognizing that every thought, emotion, and action participates in the vast, intelligent fabric of existence. This awareness transforms ordinary life into a living dialogue between your inner consciousness and the universe itself. As you integrate these teachings, you may find that life begins to mirror your inner state with increasing clarity. Synchronicities that once seemed like coincidences will reveal themselves as reflections of vibrational alignment. Challenges that previously felt overwhelming will transform into invitations for growth and refinement. Simple moments, walking through a familiar street, speaking with a friend, sitting in quiet contemplation, will take on new significance as you perceive the subtle interplay between the seen and unseen. The metaphysical dimension is not separate from daily life, it permeates it. The more you attune to this reality, the more fluidly you navigate the world. The shift from unconscious reaction to conscious creation does not happen all at once. It unfolds through sustained awareness, honest self-reflection, and consistent practice. There will be times when old patterns resurface, when doubt whispers, and when resistance seems to slow progress. These moments are not setbacks, but natural parts of the journey. Each time you bring awareness to a pattern, each time you choose alignment over fear, each time you act from intention rather than habit, you strengthen the foundation of conscious living. Over time, these choices accumulate, reshaping both your inner landscape and the outer reality that reflects it. Living metaphysically does not remove you from the complexities of the human experience. You will still encounter change, uncertainty, and moments of vulnerability. The difference is that you will meet these experiences with greater presence and trust. You will see challenges as opportunities to refine your vibration, expand your understanding, and deepen your connection with the universal intelligence that sustains all life. Joy will no longer depend solely on external circumstances, but will arise from the alignment between your inner world and the larger cosmic rhythm. In this alignment, even the most ordinary aspects of life become extraordinary. The principles explored in these chapters are timeless, but how you embody them will be uniquely your own. There is no single path to mastery, no rigid formula for creation. Each individual brings a distinct vibrational signature to the collective field, contributing to the unfolding of reality in ways that no one else can replicate. Your journey will be shaped by your intentions, your willingness to grow, and your openness to the mysteries that lie beyond immediate understanding. Trust this process, allow it to guide you, challenge you, and expand you. The universe is vast, responsive, and alive with potential. You are not separate from it. You are a conscious expression of it. Every thought you think, every feeling you nurture, and every action you take ripples through this immense field, shaping the world in subtle but meaningful ways. To live metaphysically is to recognize this truth and to participate in it deliberately. It is to awaken each day with the understanding that you are both a traveler and a creator, both a student of universal laws and an active contributor to their expression. As you step forward from this point, let curiosity guide you, let presence anchor you, let intention shape your days. Continue to refine your awareness, to align your vibration with your highest vision, and to trust the unfolding of life's intricate design. There will always be new layers to explore, new insights to uncover, and new ways to express the infinite creativity within you. The journey of metaphysical living is not about reaching a final point of arrival, but about expanding into the boundless possibilities that existence offers. Your life is a canvas and your consciousness is the brush. With each thought, feeling, and action, you shape the reality you experience. The more deliberately you engage with this creative power, the more harmonious, meaningful, and expansive your world becomes. The invisible architecture of existence is not reserved for mystics or philosophers. It is present in every moment, accessible to anyone willing to look beyond the surface. The journey continues, and it is yours to shape with awareness, intention, and trust.